Hey everyone, 85 degrees. It is warm. It is very warm today. And it was really hot earlier. I didn't believe my neighbor because it was super cold in my apartment. And then I realized, oh, you have the AC on 74. So she called me because she was missing her fire extinguisher. Where are these people going? Where? Somebody's coming in. I see the lights. Okay, people, I gotta go. I don't know what you all are doing back there. There they are. Oh, okay, he's parking over there. What happened was our landlady had told us that they were going to come inspect the fire extinguishers today and to please leave them outside first thing in the morning. So when I woke up, I put it outside, and sure enough, he came fairly early and took care of it. I did see a lot of neighbors coming home for lunch so they can put it back inside. You don't want to leave it outside all day. Although this neighbor over here did. Yeah, he finally got home and took it inside. And anyway, so she comes home and she can't find hers. It's not outside. And so she calls me and she tells me, that she's upset. Somebody took her fire extinguisher. And I was like, what? I said, I brought mine inside right away. I saw him through the camera as soon as he left. I brought mine in because I just don't trust people around here. And she's like, man, I should have had, your daughter-in-law bring it in for me, this and this and that. And then I said, well, maybe he took it. Maybe the guy took it because it needed to be serviced. And then she's like, well, that's what I was thinking too, but the landlady hasn't answered me, and this and that. I said, well, just give her some time. She goes to lunch from 12 to 1. So just give her some time, right? Well, during this time, she's telling me how she went to the gyno appointment this morning. And just to refresh, we all go to the same gyno. Her and I and my cousin. And she was upset about that too because she's tired of getting her injections every week. And I said, yeah, I had to do that when I first started going too, and I hated it. And then they switched it to every 2 weeks, and I still hated it because even though they're quick there, it is time consuming to have to go and get it done. And oh wow, the gas is $3.29 over here. That's high for our area, but anyway, but I would still get it done, right? And then when they did my blood work, they're like, oh, you're good on testosterone now, this and this and that. And I was like, great. And I said, so that means I don't have to get it anymore? And then they're like, well, no, you can just come in once a month and get it now. I said, okay. I thought I would be content with the once a month thing. I'm not. I'm just kind of like, my appointment's tomorrow. I am tired of having to go and pull my pants down and have them prick me with a needle. I'm tired of it. And so I was asking my neighbor while she was complaining. I said, how long do we have to get these for life? And she's like, yep. She's like, I asked the same thing, and they told me even 70-year-olds still go get it. I was like, what? You're kidding me. She's like, nope. She's like, you need it for your vitality, for your muscles, your bones, everything. It doesn't help as much as the estradiol does, the estrogen. But yeah, we need this too. And also for that drive, if you know what I mean. And I'm like, ugh. So I'm just like, well, I hate having to go. My appointment's tomorrow. I was already thinking about canceling. She's like, if you do that, you're going to get low, and then you're going to end up having to go once a week like me, and I don't even want to go, and all this and that, right? So I was like, all right, fine, I'll go, and anyhow, I'm going to ask them if I'm due for another lab work. Oh, and then she started telling me on how this time they told her that for now on, when they do labs, because she asked about her labs, like, when do I have to come back and do my labs? And they told her, I believe you can come next week already for them. Let me just check with the doctor, and I'll let you know. We'll give you a call, set up an appointment for you. And she's like, can I meet the doctor right now? They're like, no, that's not how it works, And then they told her, oh, and by the way, this time when they do labs, they'll be checking not just your thyroid and your testosterone, but also your estrogen. And I'm not too sure if she said progesterone as well, but she did say estrogen. And she was like upset about it. I said, why are you upset about it? I said, that's a good thing. I said, I want to lower my estrogen patch. I said, mine's really high right now, and I believe that's what's making me sick. It's making me really nauseous. I throw up like every other day. I get really bad headaches now. I'm not comfortable. And I said, I would love it if they were to lower my patch, And plus, I hate wearing this big old circle patch on my butt. And she's like, well, mine's really little. And I don't care that yours is little. I don't care, And she's like, and it's very important for us, too, to maintain our pH and our lining and our vaginal health. And all right. Like, I don't like talking about this stuff, I really don't. And I just don't want to hear about vaginal anybody, I don't want to hear about your vaginal. I don't want to hear about it, But anyhow, I'm just like, I know, okay, I know. But anyway, yeah, so tomorrow when I go, I'm going to let them know how I'm feeling. And I know they're going to tell me like, you're the very first one to complain. But that's the first thing they told me last time also about the probiotics for, once again, for vaginal pH health, and for urinary tract also. It's supposed to lower your risk for UTIs and stuff like that. So I'm like, I guess. And those supplements are kind of pricey, you all. They're like $40. But anyway, if we need them, we need them, right? So then I started thinking back earlier afternoon, and I did take mine today. Yesterday, I did not take it because for the 2 days prior to that, I wasn't able to hold anything down. And I actually sincerely thought it was the patch. So I did not take my probiotic yesterday, and guess what? I felt fine. And I had asked her this because she's a nurse. I said, can I just take it like every other day or twice a week? Because that's what the MA told me. And she's like, no, you can't. You have to take it every day. And then when she said that, I was like, wow. So I was taking it every day. And then I remembered back in December that I came on here and I said that it was making me really sick. And I was taking it every day. I took it every day for 30 days. And I remember towards the end of the month is when I started feeling sick. So, yeah, the fact that I didn't take it yesterday and I felt good, and then I took it today and I'm okay, I think I'm going to, like, do that. I'll check with them tomorrow again. But if I can get away with it with just taking it twice a week or every other day, I think I'm going to do that. Because, yeah, it's really messing up my stomach bad. And it's supposed to be, I guess, to help also with your digestion. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's not, no. So, anyhow, yeah, and it's just, then we were texting back and forth about something else, and wow, it's a lot of complaining from her. It's a lot of complaint. Oh, there goes the fire engine. fire department again. Every time I'm here, they take off, don't they? Well, I hope the person is safe. I don't know what happens around this time. Just checking my wallet really quick. I always I have this thing about constantly checking my wallet for my cards and stuff. I don't know. I'm just like that. But yeah, so I was complaining because I finished cleaning today because the husband comes in on Friday, and I was thinking like, what can I make for dinner on Friday before he gets here so he don't have a fit again? And I got this recipe from this lady that I follow on YouTube. Her name is Cooking with Kari, Kari. Yeah, Cooking with Kari. And if you all want any Mexican dishes, any Mexican dish recipes, hang on, you all. I feel like my throat's irritated right now. I would look her up because I found the recipe for a dish called entomatadas, and it's really like enchiladas, but a lot easier. And no, I'm not a practicing Catholic, but I still like to practice the Lent, right? And so I'm doing it every Friday. I'm not going to have meat, right? Not for breakfast, not for lunch, not for dinner, nothing, you know? And I've been having fish lately, but last week when I had fish, I don't know, I just didn't like it very well. But then again, I was taking those pills. Anyhow, she had made a sopita, like a caldo of conchitas, which is shells. And I was like, ooh, interesting. Oh, she added carrots. I know the husband would like it. I am not really a big carrot person. I'll eat it, but I'm not a big fan of carrots. I just don't like the texture, you know? So, anyhow, I was like, let me see if she knows how to make this. Oh, yeah, because my cousin, I had asked her, my favorite cousin, she goes, do you ever make those? I love those. And I said, well, how do you make them? Let me tell you how she makes them. Do not do it how she makes them. I'm telling you right now, and I'll tell you why. She says, all they do is put tomato sauce, unsalted tomato sauce, in a little pan, and they dip the corn tortilla in there just to get it all wet, and then take it out. And then they put cheese, queso fresco, with the white cheese, you know, the Mexican cheese. And they roll it up, put some more cheese on top. Sometimes they add onions, sometimes they don't. And that's it. They eat it just like that. So I was like, oh, that sounds easy. Let me try that. So I got that, right? I got the cheese and I got the unsalted tomato sauce. And then I got a small salad to make on the side. You all, disgusting. For one, they came apart. The texture in your mouth was mushy. It was just not nice, okay? It wasn't nice. Now, let me tell you how this lady made them. She made it the right way. So she grabs a pan, right? And she throws in like 4 Roma tomatoes, a garlic clove, chile serrano, and some onion. And a cup of chicken broth. She lets that boil. First she fries it up, and then she adds the chicken broth, lets it boil so it can get really soft. Then she puts it in the blender and she blends it up, okay? Then she gets a pan, she dips the corn tortillas in there. And, let me go a step back, sorry. After she blends up all that ingredients, she puts some, what ingredients is? Really, Teresa? She puts it in another pan. She, heats it up. She gets a different pan, she softens the tortilla in oil, and then she dips it in that sauce, takes it out right away, and repeats the process, right? And while she's taking them out, she's also like putting the cheese inside. Now she mixed her cheese with onion. I like onions, but not like that. But anyway, so she wrapped it up like that, and then she put some more cheese on top with a little bit more onion, and it looks so good. So I thought, that's cheap, it's easy, I can handle it, I hope, and I'll make that and some rice on the side. So I confirmed with the husband first. I said, would you like something like that? And he's like, yeah, that sounds really, really good. And I said, okay, I'm going to make that then. It is too bad that he doesn't like, I don't know if zucchini and calabaza are the same thing, but it's too bad he doesn't like that. I remember my mom used to make calabaza con pollo, which is the zucchini with chicken, and it would be so good, you all. And I remember I made it one time many years back. My younger son must have been about 3 years old. That's how long it was, and that was the only time I ever made it, because my friend who lives in Alamo, she made it. And she told me how she made it, and it was really quick and easy also. Like, she would just, like, boil the chicken, and then, or did she fry it? I think she fried hers. She would cut it up in cubes, fry it up, and then add the zucchini, a can of corn, a little bit of water, all your spices. You let it cook until the zucchini softens with a little bit of water, right? And that's it. Now, I love that. Unfortunately, my son, the son right here, and the husband do not like that. So that's why I never made it. I hadn't made it in over 14 years now. But you know what? One of these days I'm going to make it. I am. Even if it's just for me. Just a little bit, you know? But yeah, there's so many good dishes that I love that I wasn't sure how to make. And I love this lady that I follow, Cooking with Gotti. There's also another lady that I would follow, something about Mamacita, Cooking with Mamacita, or Mamacita Cooking. I don't know, something like that. I like her too. However, she goes through too many steps with her dishes, and she loses me. I'm just like, no, that's it. You know, like, no, you must have a good budget for groceries, that you can buy all those ingredients to make all these dishes that you make, because I'm on a budget, lady. I am on a budget, you know, and a fixed income here. Like, I have no income and the husband's income. That's it. So I'm like, no, I got to be careful on what I want to make and something affordable that we can all eat. So I try to look at, you know, dishes that are like 3 ingredient dishes, or there's this other one, something Julie Pacheco, something like that. She is forever. Hers are a little too, I don't know, like, I know I complained about this too much. First, I complained about one really overspending, and Julie, if that's her name, her dishes don't seem too healthy. They really don't. But there are other dishes that I have found that you can just dump and go. Like this other lady, I forgot her name. I made it twice already, this pasta dish. And she got a lot of criticism for it, and I don't know why. It is delicious. Where you put some chicken in the crock pot. I love crock pot meals, by the way, because you can just put it all in there and just let it cook itself for 3 hours, 4 hours. You don't have to be over the hot stove. You can go on with your life, go run errands, get some cleaning done, whatever you're gonna do, right? She put like 3 chicken breasts. Her family's bigger. I only put 2. And then boneless, of course. And they're not really big pieces either. They're kind of small. Anyhow, she puts her chicken breast in there, the 3 of them, and then she adds 1 jar of Rayo's marinara spaghetti sauce, or marinara sauce, and then 1 jar of the Rayo's Alfredo sauce. And she puts them both in there. And at first I thought, ew. No, you all would really like it. I love it. So, and then she adds her spices like Italian seasoning, some garlic, some onion powder, garlic powder, onion powder, and I believe that's it. You can add whatever spices you would like. Now, I added mushrooms to mine, but I added the mushrooms towards the end, of the cooking time, because I didn't want them in there. Of course, maybe they would have come out better. I don't know. But the time that I added mushrooms to all this. Okay, well, let me finish telling you. Okay, so you let it cook for 3 hours. In 3 hours, the chicken is done. It really is. You take it apart, right? I use 2 forks. She uses a blender. A mixer. Just the top mixture, she puts it in there and she does that. That's too messy for me. I use 2 forks. It's kind of hard to do it because it's really hot and you really can't see what you're doing, It would probably be a lot smarter if you were to take the breast out and then do it on the side. But if you don't want to get another dish dirty, why are you going to do that? Just do it in there. Well, that's what I do. So before, like an hour before everything's done, I start cooking the penne pasta. Sometimes I'll wait even 30 minutes before it's done. I'll start cooking the penne pasta. And so I'll leave it there a little bit longer, and once the penne pasta is done, I'll start shredding the chicken, and then I'll dump it in there, right? Now, if I'm going to add the mushrooms, I'll add it in an hour before everything. I'll add the mushrooms in there. Once you do all that, you can also add bell pepper and onion, black olives, however you want to make it. I've never made it like that, but I'm pretty sure it would be good. So anyway, I add the penne pasta, and then you put your cheese on top. You put your Italian cheese on top. I get this 4 cheese, no, it's a 5 cheese. A 5 cheese shredded Italian cheese. And I put it all in there, right? And then, I'll add some parsley flakes too, just to give it that greenish, a little bit of green color, so it can have different colors in there. You all, it is delicious. I love it so much. My stomach loves it so much. It is very filling though. And honestly, I've never eaten leftovers from that. I've always only eaten my fill the day that I make it. If I have a lot left over, even after my son eats, then I'll put the rest in a container and I'll take it over to my son. And here, y'all don't have to cook tonight. It'll be enough for them and the kids, because it does make a lot. And it, like I said, it is very filling. And I tell them the same thing. It's so good, but you gotta eat it today. I don't think it's one of those type of dishes that you can reheat. I've never done that with that dish in particular. I just don't think it's possible. I just don't like it. No, no. But now I want to make that next week. I know my son's going to be like, again? We're having this again? Look, the Rayo's sauce is expensive, you all. It's expensive. So I don't make it that often. But it's the best sauce. When I made it last week, I made it with a Prego sauce because Prego was on sale. Well, actually, they had a special with Prego. You buy 2 jars of Prego and you get a free pasta. And I was needing the pasta also, so I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and get and the Prego's not expensive. The Prego was like $2.98 a jar. So I got the marinara and I got the Alfredo, right? Big difference. It was good, but I'm not a fan. It was a little bit watery. The sauce, the Prego sauce, it's not as thick and rich as the Rayo's. Once you go Rayo's, you don't go back. Oh, that's all I can say. So if you can afford the Rayo's, get that. Are you all hungry yet? I had a dream. Like right now I'm hungry. All I had was a salad for dinner. And that was like around 4 o'clock. But you all, I had a dream the other night that, and I don't even eat egg because I have an intolerance, in case you didn't know, in case I haven't said it enough. I was dreaming that people were eating egg in front of me. And I was so like wanting to taste it. And in my dream, I was like, no, I can't because then I'm going to throw up, you know. And so I didn't have any. But then I saw one of those Mexican corns on the cob. And it had I think they put trechas on it. It had the trechas on it. It had the mayo on it. It had lemon. It had the white cheese. And I was like, that one, I want that one. And I remember somebody came up to me and said, there's 1 corn left and I left it for you. Go get it before somebody else takes it. And I was like, okay. Well, in my dream, I don't know what the hell I was doing, that I never got to go get it. I didn't get it. And I woke up from my dream and I was like, well, so much for my corn. You know, and I was telling the husband about it. And I was like, man. And I've been wanting that so badly. And you can even make that at home. I've seen some recipes on YouTube. Thank God for YouTube. You can see all these recipes on there, right? I've seen these recipes on YouTube where you can actually make your own elote. You don't have to and it doesn't even have to be on the cob. It can be a can of corn. Other people actually use the cob, but then they scrape off the kernels, you know, and put them in a bowl, which sounds really, really good too. But so many dishes there. So many dishes. Growing up, I did not know how to cook. I had to fend for myself, basically, because my mom would go out on her outings and leave me alone. And I did not know how to cook. So all I would make, because this is all I knew how to make, was macaroni. Now, back then, there was no creativity in my head where I was like, well, why don't I just add some wieners for some protein, right? Macaroni and wieners. Nope. All I ate was macaroni and cheese for years. I cannot have macaroni and cheese anymore. Sometimes I'm just like, I look at it and I'm like, what? You know? Once in a great while, I'll see my son having some because I made it for him. And I'll be like, you know what? I think I'll have some. And I'll eat it right as it comes out. But I won't eat it if it's cold. Even if I heat it up in the microwave, it's not the same taste to me. It tastes like back then. And I'm just like, I'm not eating it. Nope. Now, the shells and cheese I will eat. I don't know what the deal is with me there. I do like shells and cheese. I don't eat it often, but I will eat it. And that reminds me, they're going to come finally to fix the refrigerator on Monday. Because, yeah, it freezes everything. I told you how it freezes everything in my refrigerator. And then in the freezer, sometimes it melts everything, so I don't win here. And anyhow, I have a box of shells of cheese in there. And I'm not even sure if it would even still be good, because at one time everything was frozen. And you know how the little packet of Velveeta cheese? I think it would still be good, right? If it was frozen and then it's done frozen now, but it's been in the fridge this whole time, I think it would be good. I don't know. And that's another thing with cheese and me. It's like it's a give or take with cheese. Because I have that egg intolerance, and I also have a milk intolerance, and a mayo intolerance, and apparently now a cheese intolerance. Yes. Oh, and sometimes even ice cream. With ice cream, it's a hit or miss. Along with the milk, even though I get lactose-free milk, it's a hit or miss. It just depends on the mood of my stomach. Sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. And other times it's like, we're going to the bathroom right now. And I will be in there. Just like that time that I had the hot chocolate. So, I don't know. My stomach is just weird. I'm weird. The older I've gotten, the more strange I've gotten. So, I have no idea. And it runs in my family because my mom, when she was alive, her and I loved seafood. We would go to restaurants sometimes and order the seafood buffet, not the buffet, the botanas, seafood botanas. We would love to eat all that. And then one time, when she was alive, she and my stepdad went to some restaurant, and then she calls me and she says she's in the hospital. I'm like, what? What happened? Well, her lips swelled up. Turns out that she suddenly became allergic to seafood. And she didn't want to believe it. She did not want to believe it. But I remember the time that we went to Corpus. My older son had a court hearing over there way back in the day. This is way, way, way back in the day. And Corpus, if you're familiar with Corpus, there's a big old sea right in the middle of Corpus. It's surrounded with sea, you know? And you can smell the fish. Well, even like that, just with the scent of the fish coming from the sea, my mom was starting to, her nose would water, her eyes would water. She still wouldn't accept that she had an allergy to seafood. So her and my stepdad went out to eat again later on, like years later, months later. Guess what? She ended up in the hospital again. This time I made fun of her, and I was just like, you want me to go get you some lobster? You want some shrimp? Yeah, you want a cocktail? A shrimp cocktail? And she's like, all right already, leave me alone, you know? Of course, she told me in Spanish, but I thought it was hilarious. So anyway, if you're not hungry yet, I am. Love you all. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye.